Attention, the Mjolnir has arrived to the outskirts of the Ketoth system.
Well, it's about time.
It did seem like it took a while for us to get here.
My logs report I've been in hibernation mode for approximately 4 months.
4 months? Wow, really? That doesn't sound right. I mean, if this were a show and I were trying to follow a complicated story and the producers forgot about the arc for 4 months and then just suddenly jump back in with a meh ending to an arc, I'd be pissed.
Good thing we're not on TV then.
Anyway, Malik, the Ketoth military base is about a click away. You can take one of our ships. And here, in case you ever need to contact us again.
Thank you, but why did we not land closer to the base?
Because I want to remain out of the base's range and I don't want to set off their alarms.
Understood. Thank you for your assistance in my endeavors. It's been interesting on board here.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Malik, and good luck.
You didn't tell him anything, did you?
No, of course not.
Good, all is well.
Mr. Code, never mind.
What?
Is this all we're going to do? Just keep running away?
It's worked well so far.
We can't do this forever.
We can, and we will. The Scar Empire, the Iron Guard military, the incident at Talos, they're all in the past. We can't change it. We're done.
You're just avoiding.
Alec is gone. Our ties with the Iron Guard are done. End of story. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other business to attend to.
A changeling is spotted in the Crystal Empire.
Hold it! A few seasons later, once again, changelings are the focus, along with our favorite purple dragon, Mr. Brave and Glorious himself. One of the things this episode does very well is expanding on Spike's inflated heroic ego persona, and for the first time, really delving into both the consequences and the positives of his fame. Sure, we saw a little bit of that back in Equestria Games and Princess Spike, but here it's elevated not only because he has to deal with disappointing his fans once again, and looking bad in the eyes of authority figures, but deeply hurting a friend, an outcast of a changeling. I'll come back to that later, but first, let's discuss the humor because this is a very funny episode. A Darkwell Twilight is always hilarious. You got nods to the classic Looney Tunes, and even moments like Spike interrogating an inanimate object is so weird you can't help but laugh.
Okay, Rock. How do I know you're really a rock?
You're talking to me all wrong. It's the wrong tone. You do it again, I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
But by far the guards take the cake, watching them completely enamored by Spike, following his every whim, all the while trying to keep up their macho military persona is simply priceless. But when a situation arises, they do shape up and act as legit guards during their search for the changeling, so I like how they weren't just portrayed as blind idiots and actually performed as professional guards. Anyway, Spike encounters the elusive changeling and discovers he's actually a nice guy, and a great example of an outcast archetype. Listening to his origin, you really feel sympathy for Thorax. This relatively good-hearted changeling has no friends, has lived amongst bug brothers who are basically one-dimensional drones with one-track minds of aggressive love absorption. He's starving and desperate for any love sustenance in order to live, and stuck with a negative monster label, and was forced into the military drone life by the queen through hive mind mentality. And here I can't blame the guy for his latest love retrieval, as we see him constantly struggle to control his primal changeling urges. Spike helps Thorax befriend the ponies of the Empire, and now we see him using his fame and ego for good. Using his heroic persona to gather ponies, he raises an abundance of love, feeding Thorax, taking that typically seen negative ego aspect of wanting attention and turning it into a positive effect for a friend's well-being, making Spike look selfless. And I love this. That's simple but brilliant writing here that makes this episode so good. But things don't go well when Thorax is directly within the presence of the beacon of love.
There's so much love around her.
Can't fight it. Must chop wood!
Now, while Spike pulls an uncool move on one of his friends, this is actually a rational reaction to what appeared as an espionage against the Empire to all the others in the room, and this scene in particular is really the pinnacle of Spike's sudden turn to Thorax. Take that!
The changeling queen Chrysalis kidnapped Cadence and cast a spell on me. There's no such thing as a nice changeling.
You're right, Shining Armor. Sorry. That was a bad joke.
Spike is fully aware of everyone's hatred and mistrust of changelings and is overwhelmed by the numbers of high authority figures and thus doesn't want to look bad in front of them. This is a great inner conflict for him. We see throughout the episode juggling his ego and importance of friends versus image. What happened was just a natural fear response, again being in so much presence of intimidating hate. Shining's statement about changelings comes off as speciesist, but see it from his and everyone else's perspective. Changelings dominated his mind, nearly married a fake wife, almost took over the entire kingdom of Canterlot, and he nor anyone else has ever really seen a good-hearted changeling, so yeah, take your statement for what you will. And while the reconcile scene between Thorax and Spike seems a little rushed, again, we're talking about a guy who's been alone and downtrodden all his life and relies on Spike not only for love sustenance, but more importantly, is the only one to have ever shown him any compassion and doesn't want to risk losing such a vital connection, i.e. saving Spike from certain death. Then we come to the reveal at the end, and this song is alright. I mean, it's low-key, yet a nice emotional song recanting his whole experience of his quote-unquote heroic downfall, learning from his mistakes, and although the song placement is a little odd, it works wrapping up his inner conflict and sets up preparing relationships between ponies and changelings. So overall, great episode. Lots of great humor, great to see a changeling again, and some good character development for Spike. Alright, that's all for today, guys. Till next time, MC out!